Okay, let's get started. We are going to talk about the QXLchange compensation plan. And in this training, we will show you exactly how you will make money in QXLchange 1x. Now, many of you have been in other network marketing companies in the past, and for almost all of us, the biggest problem was how to find new people to join you in your opportunity. And what happens a lot is that when you are in a new company, you go to your family, your friends, and you ask them to join you in your new opportunity. And most of the times, these people don't make any money, and then they leave. And then you come again with a new company, and the same happens. And again, you come with a new company, and again, and again, and again, and again. And in the end, these people, when they see you, they are thinking, oh my God, there he is again. And they don't want to listen to you anymore. So that's a problem that most of us are facing. And that is why many of us have a fear of sponsoring. Also, many of us have a fear of selling. The same thing, you go to your family, your friends, and you try to sell them water filters and fruit juices, very expensive fruit juices, etc., etc. And nobody wants to hear the word no. And that's why most of us are afraid of selling. And those two combined, fear of sponsoring and fear of selling, makes a lot of people afraid that when they enter into a new company, that again they will fail. And that is the beauty of this new company, 1x. They took away all possible hurdles, all possible problems. You don't have to be afraid of sponsoring. You don't have to be afraid of selling. You don't have to go selling. People come to you to buy. And you don't have to be afraid to fail, because there is no way on earth that you can fail in 1x. OneX has made sponsoring extremely easy, very easy. First of all, they made the entry fee very low. You enter with only $5. I think if you have been in network marketing before, you remember that you had to pay for what is this called, starter kit. And this starter kit was usually something like $100, $200, $500, or even more. That has been taken away. We start with only $5 out of our own pocket, and every other investment that we have to make, we make it out of the money that we earn. So anyone who is entering into 1x, in fact, you have nothing to lose. The most you can lose is $5. And in fact, if you sponsor just one person, you have your $5 back. So, there's nothing to lose. Now, like I said, most people have this fear of selling because most people are afraid of hearing the word no. Now, in 1x, we don't go out to sell. We don't go out to sell. People come to us to buy. They come to us. We don't go to them. And that makes it so easy. And you know what? This is great. This is really the best part of 1x. The way that if you really understand the compensation plan, if you really understand how you make money in 1x, then you will discover that there is no way that you can fail in 1x. If you don't do anything, you register and sit back, you still will make money. It will take you a long time. It will take you months, maybe years, but still you will make money. But if you really do work, if you really do what we teach you, you will make money very fast. But no matter what you do, you will make money. And the only way that you don't make money is when you go. Is when you say, okay, I don't want to have anything to do with 1x anymore. You leave. That's the only way that you can fail. When you enter 1x, you start building a 4x4 force matrix. Now, what does that mean? 4x4 means that you can have 4 people on your first row, and you can have 4 rows, and each row has people with 4 under them. I will show you that in the next slide. Now, here you see that's you on top, and you have 4 people on your first row. And this is the same for everybody. Everybody can have only 4 people on their first row. Now, this is how you build your 1x business. You start with 4, and each one of these 4 people tries to find at least 4 persons. Now, hear me good. I said at least 4 persons, and you will find out why you would like to find more than these 4 people. Now, if you do what we teach you, then very soon your matrix, your team, will look like this. That will be you there on top with your 4 on your first row, and your 4 each will have 4 people on their first row. So you see, you don't have to do this on your own. You start alone, and very soon you will have 4 people that you introduce into the 1x business. And when each of these 4 find 4 people for their first row, then you will have 16 people on your second row. And of course, these 16 people will do the same. They will find each 4 people to place on their first row. Then you will have 64 people on your third row. And when these 64 do the same, then you will have on your fourth row 256 people. When that happens, you will have 340 people in your matrix, and your matrix will be filled completely. So what is really happening is this. You enter into somebody's matrix, but the moment you enter in that person's matrix, you start your own matrix. So you start in the top triangle, that is the first matrix, and then you start your own matrix, that's the second triangle below. Okay, in 1x we buy lessons from each other, very important lessons, very valuable lessons. And when you enter, you start buying your first lesson, and you always buy your first lesson from the person that is directly above you. And of course, I'm assuming that he bought that first lesson. So if he bought that first lesson, he can sell it to you. Everybody buys his or her first lesson from the person directly above him or her. So when you are on row 1, you buy it from this person on top. We will call him John. And if you are on row 2, you will buy your first lesson from the people on row 1. If you are on row 3, you will buy your first lesson from the people on row 2. You just go 1 row up. If you are on row 4, you also go 1 row up, and you buy your lesson 1 from the people in row 3. And like I said, we have only 4 rows in our matrix. But remember what I also said. When you start a matrix, then when you enter somebody's matrix, then you start your own matrix. And this is the same for the people in your matrix. The people on row 4 also started their own matrix, and the people on their row 1, let's call it row 5, they will buy their first lesson from the people on your row 4. The person that is immediately above you is your sponsor, and you buy your first lesson from your sponsor. When you want to buy lesson 2, you go 2 rows up. Then you go to the sponsor of your sponsor. I call it a sponsor to the second degree in this slide. Then, so when you want to buy lesson 2, you go to the sponsor of your sponsor. Lesson 1, you buy from your sponsor. Lesson 2, you buy from the sponsor of your sponsor. Then, if you want to buy lesson 3, then you go to the sponsor of your sponsor's sponsor. Okay, so you go 3 rows up. And if you want to buy lesson 4, then you go 4 rows up. So let's take a look at somebody who is on row 4 of a matrix. This person will buy his first lesson from his sponsor, who is on row 3. Then when he wants to buy lesson 2, then he goes 2 up. Then he goes to row 2 to buy his lesson 2. When he wants to buy lesson 3, he goes 3 up and he buys his lesson 3 from row 1. And when he wants to buy lesson 4, then he goes 4 rows up and he buys his lesson from this person that we call John. Now, in the beginning, I said that what you have to do, you have to try to find at least 4 persons, and I stressed the word at least, because what will happen is you will receive a bonus, a matching bonus, on everything that the people that you personally sponsor, everything that they earn. So let's give an example. You sponsor Tom, and Tom gets $5,000. Then you, as the sponsor of Tom, will also get $5,000. Let's say you sponsored this lady called Mary, and Mary sold 10,000. Then you will also receive 10,000. And it doesn't matter if you sponsor 1 person or if you sponsor 100 person. There are people in 1X who sponsored 150, 1,000. There is one guy in Canada, a doctor, who sponsored 10 or 15,000 people in Korea. Imagine that, 15,000. This man will receive the same what each of these 15,000 people receive. So let's say these 15,000 people each make, let's make it a low figure. Let's say each of these 15,000 make $1,000. Then this man will receive 15,000 times $1,000. Now you go figure that out, how much money that is. So you receive money from people who buy lessons from you, and if everybody in your matrix, all 340 people in your matrix buy their lessons, then you will have earned $99,460. And the second way that you earn was the matching bonus. Everything that the people that you personally sponsor, you will also receive. But that is not all. When you sponsored, or let me say, when you have 340 people inside your matrix, then you have completed your matrix. When you have done that, you can start a second matrix, and that is called phase 2. The first matrix is called phase 1. When phase 1 is complete, then you start phase 2, and again you will fill your matrix with 340 people, and that will happen fairly quick if you work the way we teach you. Now, when phase 2 is finished, what happens? Exactly, you start phase 3, and again you will fill your matrix with 340 people, and this will go on forever. You could fill a matrix every week or every month or whatever you like. There is no limit to the number numbers of matrices that you can fill. Now here's an overview of what you will earn per phase. You start with 4 people on your first row who pay you $5, which is 20. On your second row, 16 people who pay you 5, which is 80. Then on your third row, 64 people who pay you 10, which is 640. And then on your fourth, 256 people who pay you 20, which is $5,120. Now, these same people will come back to you again to buy new lessons from you, but this time the lessons will be a little bit more expensive, and that is called stage 2. In stage 2, the first lesson will be $40, which means that you will receive $160 from those people on your first row. Those people on your second row will come to you to buy lesson 2, which is $80, and 16 times 80 is $1,280. So that's what you receive on your from your second row. On your third row, 64 people who each buy their third lesson from you, and that lesson is $160. That will give you $10,240. And then you have 256 people on your fourth row who each come to you to buy their fourth lesson, which is $320, and that in total is $81,920. And when you count all that together, you will have received $99,460. Now, out of this $99,000, you take $75 to buy the lessons in stage 1 and $1,200 to buy the lessons in stage 2. And like I said, each person that you personally sponsor will give you the same amount of money that this person makes. So if Tom makes $99,000, you get $99,000. If you have 2 people who make $99,000, then you get almost $200,000. If you have 3 persons who each makes this $99,000, then you get almost $300,000, etc., etc., etc. So if you have 100 persons that you personally sponsor, and it is possible, we will teach you how it is possible. There are people out there who make who register 10, 20 people each day. So it is very well possible that you can have 100 personally sponsored members. So if you have, let's say, 100 personally sponsored members, and each of them makes, let's say, $5,000, then that means that you will receive 100 times $5,000. Now go calculate that, how much money that is. Okay, so that wraps it up for this time. This is the end of the compensation plan training. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask your sponsor, or I think by now you have my email address or my Skype. Contact me and I will go into more detail.